Hey, what's up, everyone? It is me, Danny Lightning. Hope you guys are doing really good today. And we're going to talk about maxing out a hangar and building a good hangar as a 100% free-to-play player. Now, I was free-to-play on this game for years. I've been playing this game for 10 years. Now, it took me so long to max out a hangar because I made so many mistakes. I did everything wrong, and it held me back. It really held me back for years. So I'm going to give you guys some advice not to make the same mistakes I made, which will help you max out a hangar so much faster than I did. I'm also going to give you a lot of advice about this thing, that thing, and the other thing, and some things you need to know or think about as a free-to-play player as well. So we're going to put a lot of important information in this, and I hope this video helps you understand a lot of things about the game. I'm going to try to cover about as much as I can in 30 minutes. There is so much to this game. We can make this video hours long, but I'm going to try and give you the basic rundown of things you need to know. So as a brand new player who doesn't really know much about the game yet, one thing you have to be aware of is probably about every 6 months, at least at this time, about every 6 months, they do a big rebalance on the game where they downgrade a lot of stuff. So if you are spending money and you're buying the new things that are really awesome, after so many months, they are going to downgrade that stuff. So nothing in the game is 100% safe from being changed. You never know what they're going to change or when, but they do downgrade items, they do upgrade items, and things are always changing in this game. So what's good now may not be good a year from now. That's just something you have to realize and think about because the rebalances, they change things constantly. And sometimes one item might be great for a while and then it's not very playable for a while. Then it might be playable again later after they make a rebalance. So things are always changing, and that is something you have to be very aware of that happens in this game. Right now, it's about every 6 months, there's a big, huge rebalance that drastically changes the way things in this game plays. So first off, as a new player, you're going to want to start building robots and weapons in the workshop. It's currently 100% free to build stuff in the workshop, which is amazing. It just takes quite a while, and I do have some videos on guides of what robots and weapons you should build in the workshop. So just type in Danny Lightning Workshop Guide or something like that. And always make sure you're looking at the newest video. Don't look at one I built like 3 years ago because that may or may not still be relevant. Always find the newest, most recent one. Now, one thing you have to remember if you're brand new to this game, your robots are low level, your weapons are low level, you're not doing a whole lot of damage, so you're not earning a lot of game resources yet. So the very first couple of months you're playing can go very slow, but after you start to build things up a little bit here and there and start doing more damage, next thing you know, you're going to be making more game resources per battle, and that's where things start to pick up in this game, right? So at first, you're going to be off to a very slow start. You're going to be making next to nothing when it comes to like silver and gold and this and that, but after a couple of months, you put a little time in, you play the game a lot, and bam, your account starts earning more resources, and this is where we can actually start doing things. So don't expect to build a really awesome hangar in a week or a month or 2 months. It's going to take you a few months to get to the point where you can actually start doing something. So first off is you want to start building robots in the workshop. Figure out which 5 robots you want from the workshop and build the robots. Don't worry about weapons yet. Just build 5 robots because it's a lot faster to build 5 robots than it is to build all those weapons you're going to need to put on those robots. As a brand new player, the Punisher T, and the Thunders will do you really well. They're cheap to upgrade, they're cheap to buy, and they actually do pretty good. They will carry you up into the higher league. So as a new player, I would focus on getting these and then building other weapons in the workshop after you've built your 5 robots. But I always suggest for brand new players, just stick with the Punisher T, and the Thunders. They will do you well as a brand new player. So pilots, drones, and specializations, those are going to be some of the hardest things to get upgraded. So we'll get into that at some point in this video. When it comes to drones, there's really only 2 drones worth getting that you can get as a free-to-play player. Number 1 is the Whiteout. This is my number 1 choice. You do have to be really close to the enemy for this to work, but it EMPs people And this drone is actually really good. I mean, I still run this on certain robots today. This is an excellent drone for close-up fighting. And then you do have your Persephone, which is a nice drone you can get with resources. I mean, this is something I would not want to run on all of my robots unless I had to. I would much rather have a whiteout, I think. But, you know, if you're not going to be playing up close to somebody, this might be a good choice. Unfortunately, getting the resources for drones is a pain in the butt. And most of the really good drones are something you're not going to get till way later in the game. So these are the two you can easily get with resources, and they will get you off to a good start. But remember, eventually you're probably going to replace at least some of these with some other good drones when you get them, but it's not easy to get the good drones. As a new player, you're going to have to go with the starter stuff and not the really good stuff. Now, as a new player, when it comes to pilots, you do want to try and get the legendary pilot that goes with your robot because that will give you the best results. But when you do get one for starters, put 3 skills on it. You want to have Roadhog for speed, Armor Expert for durability, and Mechanic for healing. So the first 3 skills you put on a robot should be those 3 right there. It does suck trying to earn the resources, but that's something else we will get into a little later in the video. Okay, so let me tell you about the huge mistake that I made that held me back and took me probably 10 times longer to max out a hangar than it should have. So if you look at my old account here, you're going to see I just have all kinds of weapons. I have all kinds of robots. I have so much stuff. And I mean, the amount of things I've sold off is insane. But one of the biggest mistakes I made is every time I got something new, I stopped upgrading what I was currently upgrading and started upgrading the new stuff. So I never got anything past like level 8, level 9, level 10, Mark 1, because you know what? I didn't stick with anything. I just upgraded something a little bit, stopped, upgraded something new, stopped, upgraded something new. And I did that for years. And that was the biggest mistake you can make. I did that with my weapons. I did that with my robots. I had so many level 8 robots and level 8 weapons laying around, but once I got into the Champion League, I was like, hey, my hangar that I've been playing for the last like 2 to 3 years is not ready for Champion League. I'm like 3 years later, I just finally get into Champion League and my robots and weapons can't compete because everything's under leveled. Well, that's because I was not smart. All right, what you want to do is choose 5 robots. Find weapons that you like for those robots, put those weapons on those robots, and don't upgrade anything except for those 5 robots and those 5 weapons. Once I did that, I went from a basically level 8 to level 10 hangar to a Mark II hangar in probably about 2 months, all right? Now, you do have to grind your butt off. You got to put a couple of hours a day into playing this game to earn the silver and the gold and everything you need to upgrade the robots and the weapons. I mean, if I were to start over from scratch and get a brand new account, the first couple of months, I would grind my butt off. I would play the game. I would try to collect some stuff, start building some robots. And then once I had my 5 robots built, at that point, I would just work on grinding games out to earn the resources I need. Once I got my account to a point where it was earning a decent amount of silver and stuff per battle, at that point, I could probably get weapons and robots maxed out in a couple of extra months. Not maxed out, but up into the high Mark II levels. Now, I don't even bother to Mark III my weapons these days. I just go up to like Mark II 12 or Mark II 6. Once you get up in there, you're at a very good level for the higher leagues. Now, when you're in the lower leagues, you don't need Mark II weapons, right? When you're down there in Diamond League and Silver League, if you can get your stuff up to like level 8, level 10, you're doing pretty good, right? You're doing pretty good. You don't need to hit Mark II until you get into like maybe Expert, Masters, Champions. That's when you want to start focus on getting into Mark II. But at least once you hit Expert, that's when you're going to need to really start focus on leveling your stuff up a little higher. So the first several leagues, you're probably going to be okay with, Mark I weapons and robots. So just remember, these things do take time, but there are things that will hold you back and make it take a lot longer, or things that will help you get this done quicker. So I'm telling you right now, the number one things you need to focus on is number 1, playing enough games to earn your resources. And number 2, pick 5 robots, put weapons on them. Don't change the robots. Don't change the weapons. stick with that hangar. So once I picked my 5 robots, put my weapons on there, I was actually amazed how quickly I was able to go from like a level 8 to level 10 hangar up to like Mark II level 6. It only took me a few months. I mean, I was playing the game 2 or 3 hours a day at that point, so I was earning a pretty nice amount of resources from a battle. I mean, with a decent hangar, I can easily earn 800,000 to like 1.5 million silver per battle, right? These days, I can earn a nice amount of silver per game, and well, it adds up, right? It all adds up. Now, back when I first started playing and my account was really low level, the amount of silver you're getting is just next to nothing, and it really does take a long time to get your account rolling. But if you've got time to play between 1 hour and 3 hours per day, you'll start bringing in pretty decent amount of resources once you start getting good at the game, getting some kills, doing some nice damage and stuff like that. But just remember, as a brand new player, it does take a while. This isn't going to happen overnight. You got to have a little patience and slowly move forward. And I'm telling you, Punisher, Punisher T, and Thunder is what you want to use until you start getting better weapons, and then you replace those with the good weapons. The last thing you want to do is waste your resources by building robots and weapons that are not good. I mean, there's a lot of robots in this game that suck. There's a lot of weapons in this game that suck. I mean, the workshop has a lot of good stuff in it, and it's got a lot of really bad stuff as well. So you got to be very careful what you're actually building in the workshop, because you do not want to put your resources into something that's not going to carry you into the higher leagues. So you always want to find out before building a robot or building weapons. Talk to one of the YouTubers, talk to somebody who knows the game really well, and find out if that thing is going to be good, because you don't want to get something, upgrade it, and then find out once you move up into the higher leagues, which is something that will happen if you play the game long enough. You don't want to move up and find out, hey, this weapon or this robot will not perform in the higher leagues, and then you have to start upgrading something else, and you dumped all your resources into something that will not work out. So always make sure whatever it is you're building is actually going to perform well when you move up. You want something that will carry you up into the higher leagues, because I'm telling you right now, it might take you several months or a year or so to move into the higher leagues, but eventually you're going to get there, and you want to make sure your equipment and your robots are going to perform well there. So don't just start building any old thing in the workshop, because if you do that, you're going to run into some problems. You're going to be like, my God, I put all these resources into this and I wasted them. And that's not a good feeling right there. You know, something like you see on the screen right here, this is a very balanced hangar. We have a Skyros, which is a great beacon runner. We got a Fenrir, which is a, in-your-face fighter. It's a tank. It's good for grabbing and holding beacons. We got a Ravana, which is just a great fighter. We have an Invader, which is basically a up-close fighting tank. And then we have our Sheriff Demeter, which is like a mid-range healing fighter, which will heal your teammates. I mean, these are just really, really, really good robots. Titans are something, I would just grab a Luchador for your average person. Or if you want something a little more complicated and more fun to play, that's probably not quite as good, but more fun, then I would go ahead and grab something like the Heimdall that you see here. Now, I actually played these Retaliators. These are the stock Titan weapons. I've played these on here for about 3 weeks straight, and even though they're not good, they work. I was having no problem playing a Heimdall with 4 Retaliators. So, until you get good Titan weapons, I would just stick with the ones that come with it. They're not great by any means. I'd kind of hate to say put your resources into these, but it's really hard to get good Titan weapons, so you're almost stuck with playing the stock ones for quite a while as a new player, and if you don't level them up, then you're not going to be doing any damage. So unfortunately, I think you do need to put some resources into the stock weapons. I really hate to tell you this, but if you don't, you're going to be running around with a Titan with no firepower for a long time. Or you might get some other Titan weapons that suck beforehand, and you put resources into those, and, well, they're not going to be any good. So you need to make sure whatever Titan weapons you're getting are actually good Titan weapons, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of robots, a lot of Titans, a lot of weapons in this game that are terrible, and you do not want to dump your resources into those. These perform decent enough, and they're much cheaper to upgrade than some of the other weapons. Same thing with the Thunders, Punishers, and Punisher Ts. They're so much cheaper to upgrade, and they perform well enough. Now, once you get your hangar rolling, you took my advice, you got your 5 robots, you put the weapons on them, and you start up and grading those. In a few months, if you're playing the game enough and you're earning enough silver, you should be able to get your hangar into, a pretty decent level pretty quickly. So when you're brand new, don't worry too much about getting anything to Mark II. Just shoot for level 12, right? Shoot for level 12 robots and level 12 weapons. Now you want to level up your robots and your weapons evenly. The general rule has always been keep your weapons 2 levels above your robots. I always kept all of my weapons and robots at the same level, so I would get my robot up to level 2. Then I would get one weapon to level 2, the next weapon to level 2, next weapon to level 2. Then I would get my robot to level 3, weapon to 3, weapon to 3, weapon to 3, robot to 4, weapon to 4. That's how I did mine, and that worked out good for me. But if you don't upgrade the robot and the weapons, you're going to have either lots of durability and no firepower, or you're going to have a bunch of firepower and no durability. You need both, right? Your weapons and your robots both need to be leveled pretty evenly because you got to have the firepower and you got to have the durability. So level things up evenly. Now, the good news is when it comes to buying pilots, you can get pretty much whatever pilot you want unless it's brand new. There are some you can't buy in here. You got to win them out of crates or data pads or whatever. But a lot of these older robots, especially the ones in the workshop, the pilots are available. Now, you do got to be really careful how you spend your gold because you're going to need to unlock all 5 hangar slots on your robots, which will cost gold. You're going to need to buy pilots, which will probably cost you some gold. And you're going to need to eventually mark to your robots, which will cost you some gold. The first thing you want to do with any gold you earn during this game is unlock all 5 hangar slots. Do not spend any gold on anything until you have all 5 hangar slots unlocked. That is very important because at first you're going to be like, hey, I only need 1 or 2 robots, I'm fine. But as you start playing more and more and going up against tougher opponents, you're going to realize you need to have all 5 robots to stay in that battle and last for the entire game, because if you don't, you're going to be dying and out of robots early and you're not going to be able to finish games, right? You don't want to be out halfway through the game or a quarter way through the game because your 2 robots died. Unlock all 5 hangar slots before spending any gold on anything else. So gold is another one of those things that you're going to earn just from playing. So as you're doing well, you're going to earn more and more and more gold. As a new player, of course, just like anything else, the gold's going to come in slowly, but the more you play and the more time you spend playing, the more gold comes in. I mean, I don't have to spend gold very often anymore. I've got like 200 and some thousand saved up. That probably took me about 2 years, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years to get 250,000 gold saved, playing probably 2 hours per day. So I do use gold to speed up my upgrades. Once you start upgrading a robot or weapon, there is a timer on it and you have to wait, but you can use gold to finish that upgrade. After years of playing, it got to the point where I can save my gold. I can save my game cash. I mean, it took years to get to that point, so don't expect to have as much resources as I have currently, but I don't buy these resources. I don't buy gold. I don't buy silver. I mean, I do buy operations passes sometimes, so some of the silver and stuff did come from the operations passes and playing. I mean, those are a great value. Most of the time, they can help you earn a lot of extra resources, which is good, but I don't go into the shop and buy chunks of silver. I don't go into the shop and buy chunks of gold. That's all from just playing and purchasing operations passes. These days, I am extremely stingy with these resources. I mean, as a new player, you're going to have to keep spending them, but after a while, I got everything upgraded and I didn't really need to spend those resources anymore. Now I just hoard them and I try not to spend them when I don't absolutely have to. Now, at first, you're probably not going to have drones on your robot. You're probably not going to have pilots. You're going to have your robots and your weapons, and that's fine, right? You're going to have to save up and hoard some resources and this and that to start getting drones and pilots. So don't be too discouraged if you can't get your drones and your pilots right away. That's going to take a little while. I mean, if you're somebody who wants to spend a little bit of money, I mean, you can buy like large chunks of silver and gold. I mean, right there for 20 bucks. If you bought that thing right there for 20 bucks, that would last a new player quite a while. Now, there are a couple of things that I do find that I constantly need to spend money on even after playing all these years. Like if you want to level up your drones, I do find that sometimes I need to buy modules. Not very often because I'm very stingy with it. I only upgrade a drone every once in a while, but every once in a while I might come in here and need to purchase some modules. I think I misspoke there. Modules are for upgrading your specializations, and microchips are for upgrading your drones. And I do find that I need to buy both of those resources somewhat often. If I could speak today, man, I suck. And I constantly find I'm having to buy a memoriam to level up my pilots. But I mean, $5 for 9,000, that's almost enough to level up a pilot there. I would probably buy like 2 of those for 10 bucks. That gives me a whole bunch of gold with it. And ba-bam, right? But bam, I just leveled up a pilot for like $10, which isn't horrible if you're not doing it every day, right? Let's just say you're leveling up a pilot once a month or, twice a month. 10, 20 bucks here and there, not a big deal, but I do find I constantly have to buy a memoriam all the time. That's the main thing I have to purchase. When I get a new robot, I got to put pilots on it, and I'm always running out of memoriam, so I do purchase that a lot. So it's kind of hard to get certain things as a free-to-play player, but if you can spend a few bucks, you can come in here in the daily deals and get some of the things you need really cheap, or you're just going to have to slowly grind it out, which is a big old pain in the butt, but it can be done. You just have to have a lot of patience. But getting the modules to upgrade the specializations is something I normally need to pay for. Getting the microchips to upgrade the drones is something I normally need to pay for. And then getting the memoriam to upgrade pilots is something I often have to pay for. So besides these 3 things, I can play this game for free, but those are 3 things right there that I do need to make small purchases on. 10 bucks here, 20 bucks there, 30 bucks there. It's not expensive, but it's really hard to get those 3 things if you're not buying it. So as a brand new player, there are going to be a few things you're probably going to run behind on or have to do without at first. But, if you're really, really patient, you don't have to buy those things. You can earn them. It just takes a really long time. So there's certain things, if you want to get ahead, you might need to spend a few dollars on, but you don't have to. It really, really helps, but you don't necessarily have to. Just don't expect to play the game and 3 months later have a completely maxed out hangar. I mean, you could probably start off within a year. I know that sounds like a really long time, but I mean, there's so many people who've been playing this game for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. There's a lot of players that do stick around and keep playing this game year after year after year. So it does take a little while to do this. It's not a fast process whatsoever. It's not easy, guys. It is not easy, but if you follow what I said here, it'll help you along a lot faster. I mean, one of the worst things I did, telling you right now, I wasted so many resources trying to upgrade every single thing I ever got. Like I said, I never had anything past level 8, level 9, level 10. When I got into the Champion League, I had like a level 10 hangar, and I needed to be into the Mark II. And that's about when I broke my bad habit of trying to upgrade every new thing I got. I just put in the 5 robots, threw the weapons on them, stuck with that, and probably 3 to 4 months later, I was up to like Mark II 6 on everything. So it is doable. You just got to put in the time and grind your butt off for the resources. So when it comes to building your Titan, you need a resource called Platinum to buy the Titans, to buy the weapons, to level up the Titans. And that's one of those things where you just have to play the game and you will slowly earn that. So if you're patient and you don't waste your Platinum, right, you're going to earn a resource called Platinum. If you're patient and you play a lot, save that up until you have enough for either a Heimdall or a Luchador. Again, I don't know if those robots are still going to be good at the time you're watching this video, but at the time I'm making this video, those are the 2 best free-to-play Titans. It might take you a few months, unfortunately, to save up to buy one, but if you play the game enough, you can buy either a Heimdall, which you see right here, or this guy right here, the Luchador. These are both really, 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 really good Titans that you can buy with your game resources. It looks like both of them will cost you 2,000 platinum. So as a brand new player, I don't know how long it's going to take you to earn that, but I could probably earn 2,000 platinum in maybe a month or two. I'm just taking an estimated guess. I don't really pay attention to how much platinum I earn, but it wouldn't take me very long at this current point. Once you get your hangar rolling and you're winning battles, you're doing well, it shouldn't take long to buy one of these. And then, of course, you need the platinum to level up your Titans as well. And that's a big old pain in the butt. But, you know, you got to have patience, guys. You got to put the time into playing and have the patience to earn the resources to level these things up. Now, one of the reasons I don't normally Mark III my weapons is you're getting a very small advantage for Mark III, and you have to get these upgrade tokens, which you almost always have to buy those. It's very hard to get upgrade tokens without spending money. Now, I normally do Mark III my robots because I think you're getting a bigger boost going from Mark II to Mark III on a robot, but I don't do it with weapons. I just go into the Mark IIs, right? Mid Mark II, like Mark II 6 or Mark II 12, your weapons are going to be doing great. Robots, I mean, the end goal is to get your robots to Mark II 12 and then possibly to Mark III if you have the upgrade tokens, which we call the Doritos. Now, back in the day, I used to Mark III all of my weapons and all of my robots because you could do that with gold, which you were able to earn from playing, but now you pretty much have to buy the upgrade tokens. So I only Mark III the things that I think are going to be really beneficial, which is usually the robot and not the weapons. So right here, you can get an upgrade token and some power cells, or a Dorito and some power cells for $3. I mean, that's gonna, you know, that's cheap enough, but it's really hard to get a few things in this game without spending money. Now, if you go into the game mode called Hunting Grounds, if you look in here, there is a lot of resources and stuff you can earn. You can earn a lot of nice stuff in the hunting grounds. So if you look at the rewards, if you finish the hunting grounds, which kind of sucks because you need 2 hangars, but you can earn some upgrade tokens in the hunting grounds. Personally, I think it's a very hard and frustrating mode, and I never play it because it takes forever. You know, you got to rearrange your hangar. You got to have just the right stuff in there in order to beat the hunting grounds. So it's not easy, but if you can do it, if you're one of those people who likes this game mode and you got the right stuff, you can earn some upgrade tokens from doing the hunting grounds, and then you won't have to buy them. But you know, it is what it is on these, right? There's a few things where you just have to say it is what it is. It's not easy to get this thing. I'm going to do my best until I get it. But I mean, honestly, the key to building a good free-to-play hangar is putting enough time into the game and playing, right? You got to play some more after that, and play some more, because if you're not earning enough game resources to level stuff up, you're never going to get anywhere. Now, the first couple of years I played this game, I think I played maybe 1 or 2 or 3 games a day, which is, you know, it brought in a little bit of resources here, a little bit there. But, you know, if you really want to get somewhere in this game, you do got to spend some time into it. I mean, as a free-to-play player, it's important. It's very, very important to spend enough time to earn the resources you need to level your stuff up. If you can't put in the time, it's going to take forever to upgrade anything as a free-to-play player. So you do got to play the game enough. You got to grind, or you got to spend a little bit of money. So at first, as a brand new player, you want to focus on just robots and weapons. Don't worry about drones. Don't worry about pilots. Don't worry about anything other than robots and weapons, okay? Robots and weapons come first, and then getting the other stuff comes next. So just worry about building 5 good robots, building weapons to put on those robots, and then you're going to start worrying about drones and this and that, and you're kind of going to get some here, get some there. Just get them as you can earn them, right? As you earn enough stuff to buy a drone, go buy a drone. You're not going to get this stuff overnight. It's going to take weeks and months of grinding. So it's not easy, and it's going to take a long time, but you can build a free-to-play hangar without spending a dime. But I do suggest spending a few dollars every once in a while. If you buy the right things in the store, there's always different deals every day. But I mean, $2 here, $5 there, $10 there, $3 there will get you very far in this game a lot faster. It's still going to take a little while, But if you're a nickel and dime spender that just buys little deals here and there, you can really get a lot further a lot faster. If you're 100% free to play, just remember it's going to take quite a while. It's kind of a long-term commitment as a free-to-play player. Now, I do know a lot of free-to-play guys who have been playing the game for years, and they've got really nice hangars, all right? Some of them even do have some of the brand new meta stuff. Every once in a while, the game throws you a bone, and you get something really awesome for free. So, you know, you're not always stuck just playing this stuff, but you will be at first. Just remember, there's a lot of old weapons and a lot of old robots that are good and they're playable. And if you learn to play those robots, you learn to play those weapons, you master them, you learn good tactics. Not everybody running the new stuff is actually good at the game. There are a lot of crappy players out there running the best stuff that don't know how to play it, and then, you know, you can outplay them and kick their butt with a hangar like this. I mean, I play robots like this all the time because to me, they're more challenging and they're more fun than playing the brand new meta stuff that's like pressing the easy button, you know what I mean? But not everybody can play those things. Back in the day, we didn't have drones, we didn't have pilots, so there's been a lot of things added to the game since I started that make it a little bit harder to get what you need and level your stuff up. So that is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, I mean, hopefully this video gives you some ideas and helps you move up a little faster. Just don't expect to get things done overnight, guys and gals. It's not something you can just do really quickly. You know, you're not going to be in Champion League in a week, right? You're not going to have a maxed out hangar in a week. It's a slow process, and you got to put in the time. I'm telling you right now, it's a very slow process, and you got to put in the time grinding and playing and earning your resources. If you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. You got to have a lot of patience. It's a waiting game, but eventually you're going to do it. Just make sure you're spending your resources on robots, weapons, Titan weapons that are actually worth upgrading and actually worth playing, because you don't want to put a bunch of resources into something, slowly move up into the higher leagues, and then find out, hey, you know, my hangar can't do it. I got all this stuff maxed out and it's worthless. That's the last thing you want to happen. So make sure whatever you put your resources into is actually good and worth upgrading and can carry you into the higher leagues. Okay, so we're roughly at 30 minutes into the video, and that's long enough. We've covered a lot of things. Hopefully this was enough to get you off to a good start or a good understanding of what you need to do well on this game. Again, it takes a very long time, and there's a lot to it. I mean, you could write a whole book about this game, and we could go on for hours and hours and hours about strategy and guides and how to do this and how to do that. But this is just a basic rundown, and I really do hope that it helped. But yeah, 30 minutes, long enough. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys and gals. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Check out the video description or the pinned comment. Maybe watch one of these videos that are about to pop up on the screen right here. And we will catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Lightning out. See ya.